statement which mentioned their reaction. Just talk us through what that states.
Well, they obviously rejecting this and complaining in the strongest possible tones, saying that this is all to do with oil and strategic minerals, that it's an attempt by US imperialism, as they would put it, to grab Venezuela's resources for themselves. They're calling for the International Security Council to meet. I think the interesting thing is that although we've seen this reports of this decree of an emergency being declared by President Maduro, this is a moment at which you would, if you were on the government side, you would want the government and perhaps the military high command to be on air, to be reassuring people that they're still there, that they're still in control, they're still in command. And really what we've seen so far has been, it's very much seemed improvised. The communique seems to have been dashed off. It's not signed by anybody in particular. It was read by a junior official on air. So that's not reassuring people who were on the government side, who reject this attack by the US if that's what it is. And what options does the Venezuelan government have? So if we look at what they said in that statement, one of the things they said was the entire country must mobilize to defeat this imperialist aggression. That was a quote from their statement. What resources does Venezuela have to fight back against this? On a military level, it's really impossible for the Maduro government to resist. The big fear, according to military analysts, of the US forces when contemplating this kind of intervention was air defenses. But it does appear that, either those air defenses were neutralized or they didn't work. There doesn't appear to be, as far as we know so far, of course, it's early days, but there doesn't appear to have been any response from the ground. Certainly no aircraft have been reported shot down so far. That suggests that, that the military is not capable of resisting it in any way at all. Although on paper, the Venezuelan military is not the strongest in the region. They do have a couple of dozen, or nearly a couple of dozen. I think a few of them have fallen out of the sky in recent years, but they do have Sukhoi 30s, Russian fighter bombers, which are some of the most sophisticated aircraft possessed by any air force in the region. But there's no report that they even took off. There's not really much that Maduro can do when faced with, 10 or 50% and League worldwide is arrayed against him, including the world's most, where these attacks may be launched militarily. There isn't much they can do if they did choose to resist. If assuming that they're capable, it wouldn't last for very long. Assuming that the US is really determined to overthrow the government.
Phil Gunson, thank you so much for your thoughts and analysis there.